resonates with everybody is where our league's at. And, you look at even individual polls that come out or players that get voted on preseason player of the year. There's so many teams that have very good rosters this year that you go top to bottom. There's no holes in our league right now. And, I think that you look at the teams that, are picked to finish at the top, and with the exception of Mankato, I think you could, make an argument for almost anybody to be moved 1, 2, 3, or 4 places. I think the reason that we're able to be in these spots is the brand. The brand of the league resonates. And you see it in recruiting, you see it in your own recruiting, you see it in other people's recruiting. You go out and you watch an event, and you see players that are coming to our league, and you think that's a really good player. So, the evolution of where we are as a league, I think has continued to grow and will continue to grow. In terms of our own team, Perry, you touched on the offense. It's something that we have to continue to work on. And, you got to continue to work on your strengths, but the focus of our preseason training camp has been the other side of the puck. In all aspects of that, it's it's a penalty kill, it's eliminating shots, it's supporting our goaltenders, it's doing things to allow us to win some games. We got to get back to winning some games. 2-1, 3-2, and if we're not able to do that, it's going to be hard to continue to win at a high level and continue trying to build off of the season of last year. I still think there was stretches last year where we played very, very good hockey. And there were stretches post-COVID that we had a really tough time competing. So, hopeful that both Charlie can build off of his selection on the all rookie team, and Rico is healthy, and hopefully Rico can build off of what he did here in our league a couple of years ago.
All right, we'll open up to questions for Coach Potulny. We'll start him off with one here. Do you think you have a good mix of young and experienced players on your roster? Pretty good freshman class coming in here.
We have an interesting team. We have 8 seniors, and we have 13 new players. So, you kind of have that yin and the yang a little bit. In terms of our returning group, I think some of the guys up front, have a chance to have a pretty good year. AJ Vanderbeck has shown he can score in this league. Andre Gontos has shown he can score. David Kiefer has had a strong finish. Alex Fry had a strong finish. So some of the returners, I think, up front have shown they can do it. Getting a healthy Tanner Vesio will be important for us. And Mike Van Unen, and both of those players have had, their fair share of injuries throughout their time here. And we're hopeful as seniors, those guys can help lead our D-corps. In terms of the new players, we do have 4 transfers that came in at really critical positions for us. Artur Slane and Christoph Pop were centers that could come and fill a void for us. Simon Kelsberg and Aiden Gallagher, are our defensemen that we needed help there. So, in the most important spots that we needed help, we found some guys, and those guys have shown very well so far, acclimated very well. In terms of our freshman class, I think it's probably highlighted by Joey Larson, who was selected as the preseason rookie of the year. Joey's progressed, in the game. He's made every step at the opportune time. He hasn't skipped a step. Finished out his years in high school hockey, was named Mr. Hockey in the state of Michigan. Moved on to junior hockey, and kind of worked his way through junior hockey to the culmination of a good year last year in Muskegon. I think that's part of the process for a lot of good players, particularly in our league, is that they come in and they're ready. And, Joey's going to be ready. Josh Singer is a freshman defenseman from the Alberta League, and can really skate, really inquisitive, always asking good questions. So, we think that Josh has a chance to have a pretty good year. And, there's some other guys that, Connor Eddy and Zach McLeod, Luke Grammer and Isaac Bandu. These kids had good junior careers. How long it takes for them to get there, You don't know that.
Thanks, Coach. Question from Dave.
Hey, Coach Dave Danis, 100.3 The Point. You released your captains yesterday, Tanner Vesio and AJ Vanderbeck. And I was talking with Dave Mingay last week, guys, and usually it seems like there's 2 or 3 guys that are automatic. They're gonna get to wear letter that year. But as we talked around, there seems to be a lot of leadership in this room, and there's the 2 captains and the 2 alternates that are named. There probably could have been 4 or 5 other guys that could have worn a letter as well, and those guys will lead you in the room too.
Yeah, no, you're right on, David. Even for me going into the year, I usually have a pretty good idea who, I think most of the captains are going to be, and we've always had the players vote. I think it's their room. I think it's important that they have the voice. We always do it to start the year that we're currently in. Unless we have a returning captain, I want the freshmen to vote too, because they're important players here. A couple guys in particular that probably we'll definitely lean on are Vinny DeMay and Alex Fry, guys who played a lot of hockey here. Do things the right way. It's Vinny's 5th year. So that being said, today those guys don't have letters, but if you walk and talk and act like a captain over the first couple months of the year, then maybe the coaches will decide that you need to have a letter in New Jersey on the ice too.
Question from Tim.
Hey, Coach, it's Tim Rapley from Flow. Joey Larson's getting a lot of publicity and probably justifiably as a newcomer, but a lot of hockey insiders are talking about the Connecticut transfer, Artem Schleine. I think I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Can you give us some insights into the skill set of that centerman?
Yeah, yep, Artem Schleine. Artem, is a player that came right out of Shattuck St. Mary's and went to UConn. He's young enough right now, Tim, that he could actually play in the USHL. But he's had 2 years of college hockey experience. He's got a high motor, very good skill set, can make a lot of plays on the rink, but he doesn't just play offense. He wants to kill penalties. He wants to be a guy that can win a toward draw. And I think that's the sign of a really good player, a guy that you count on. When you're up a goal, the guy you count on when you're down a goal too. I think Artem's going to be able to do a lot for us in those areas.
And we have one more question here from the audience. Is Coach Potolny, who do you perceive to be your number 1 goalie this year? Or do you plan to alternate throughout the season?
Charlie's coming off a year where he went on the road and won a playoff series. He was our clear-cut number 1 to finish the year, and Charlie's going to have the first opportunity to come in here and win that role. That being said, Rico's played very good hockey here. We have a freshman, Benny Elias, who's also in the mix. I don't know that Rico will necessarily be ready to start the season. If things go one way and Benny gets in there, I fully expect him to fight for that job also.